In this video, we're going to take a look at the various home video releases of the 1960s television series Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Originally broadcast on ABC in North America during the 1960s, this show was never released for home video until 1995. So in the 1970s and 1980s, it was seen as syndication reruns only. And basically, if you wanted to watch it on your own and have copies on your own, it meant that you had to videotape it off the air. But then finally, in 1995, there was an official, albeit very short-lived, official release. And this was through the mail order company Columbia House. Columbia House had seen great success with releasing another Irwin Allen produced television series, Lost in Space, and they had eventually released all of the episodes of Lost in Space, all 3 seasons worth, on home video. Each videotape that they released contained 2 one-hour episodes. And so it seemed likely that if they released Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, this would also do well, since it was also a well-known Irwin Allen property. Unfortunately, it didn't do so well. They released 4 VHS tapes. Each tape, again, contained 2 episodes. The release from Columbia House was packaged very nicely. They used hard clamshell cases with a nice wraparound cover. All of the covers were the same. It was a generic front, and then on the back they would list details about the episodes. And the episode information was written by Alan Asherman, who was known for his writing about Star Trek. He had written the Star Trek Compendium, which is still considered to be a very definitive look at the original Star Trek television series, and he wrote very nice notes for the back of the VHS releases. Unfortunately, only 4 tapes were ever released. That's a total of 8 episodes, and then there were no more. It's worth noting that the quality of the episodes that were released on VHS looked really good. Evidently, Columbia House must have had access to either remastered copies or some sort of copy that was closer to the original master than was currently being seen in syndication. Because anyone who can remember watching these in syndication, for example, if you saw them on the Sci-Fi Channel during the 1990s, you'll probably remember that the prints of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea typically looked washed out and scratchy. But the episodes that Columbia House did release looked really great. A note about the pricing. Columbia House would typically let you have the first item relatively cheaply, and in the case of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the first tape would typically be sold to you for $5, and then the subsequent tapes would be around $25 a piece. Let's now move on to a discussion about releases on LaserDisc. There's only one country in the world that ever released the television series on LaserDisc, and that was Japan. And amazingly, they released the entire series. All episodes were released over the course of 12 LaserDisc box sets. In Japan, in 1995 in Japan, they started to release Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea on LaserDisc. And they did it in these box sets. I don't have all of them. They ended up releasing a total of 12 box sets total. I have 9 out of the 12. And this one here in the center, this is the first box set that came out in '95. Basically, these run between 1995 and 1999. They released these. So, for example, here's the first box. And it has 3 discs inside, and what you would get is each disc would contain 2 episodes, 1 episode per side of the disc. So 3 discs, that's 6 sides, you get 6 episodes. The first volume is exclusive to episodes taken from season 1, so it's all black and white. They're all subtitled. They're all in English with Japanese subtitles for season 1. Then Volume 2 would follow the same trend. This did all of episodes from Season 2, so these now are all in color. Basically, Seasons 2 through 4 were dubbed for broadcast in Japan. So for those episodes,
You don't really get subtitles. You get one audio track that has the Japanese, and you get an alternate audio track, basically left and right. And one of them contains Japanese and the other contains English, and you pick which one you want to listen to. There are some minor moments in the episodes which were not translated into Japanese. They weren't dubbed into Japanese, sorry. And for those, you'll see subtitles, but they usually last less than a minute. And it seems, originally I thought maybe they were for scenes that had been cut slightly because of content or something, but actually I think they were just not dubbed because they were trying to squeeze in as much commercial time as possible, so they didn't bother to dub approximately, 30 seconds to 1 minute out of every episode. So again, this contains three discs, so that's 6 episodes, and then they start to get, well actually here's set 3, and I can't remember if it's this set or a different set where they begin to mix it up. I think it might be here with 3, or maybe it's with 4. Basically what happens is they start to give you a disc with like a couple episodes from season 1, and then another disc from season 2, and another disc from season 3, and maybe 4, and that sort of thing. So the first 4 sets, because this is the 4th one, are all done in this box style where the lid pops off like so, and inside we can see the individual discs, which are housed in basically LP jackets, really thick LP jackets. So for each disc you get like an individual LP jacket. Oh yeah, if I haven't mentioned it by now, the thing is that the packaging is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. They incorporate the drawings, the blueprint drawings by Frederick Barr.
I should point out who Frederick Barr is. He's a longtime science fiction fan who has a real talent for mechanical drawings and blueprints. In the late 80s, he produced a Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea fanzine that lasted 3 issues, and it's a very professionally done magazine, and it included some blueprints, and he also produced a technical manual for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and he's still going strong to this day.
Throughout all of these box sets, and they're everywhere, and it adds such a touch of I don't even know what, but it just gives it this kind of technical feel. One of the big draws of the show was the design, and by using Frederick Barr's blueprints, it really brings that to the forefront and makes it really appealing. So the packaging is done really well. There's color pictures throughout. So for example, here's another one. You get like a nice color shot of David Hedison on the front. And it's nice. Look, that's the logo that they would use throughout like season 4. It would say in color, and they actually put it on the corner to indicate that this jacket contains 2 episodes that are color episodes. And it's just, attention to detail is amazing. So they list the episode number down here, episode 88 and 92. Again, the episodes are presented more or less randomly. They're not like in broadcast order, production order. They're just kind of matched, usually like 2 color episodes, 2 black and white episodes. Again, Frederick Barr's excellent blueprints are utilized on the back. You can see the episode 88, Journey with Fear. Down here we have Time Lock, and they're really just so gorgeous the way they did them. So here then is the 3rd disc from this set. Nice color picture. We flip it on the back. We get more of Frederick Barr's blueprints, and then inside the box here, this is the Obi. This originally went on the front of the box, right? This is an Obi strip. If you're not familiar with those, look them up. The Japanese like to put them on all their products. And then inside, you would also get, in each box set, there's a different, usually, like this one, it's just a single leaflet that's folded over, and sometimes it's you know, multiple pages. This one is just a single fold. But back here you get all sorts of great illustrations and pictures about the product, and it would vary too. Like sometimes it's colored pictures of toys associated with the show. Here we get some scripts, shooting schedule up here. Amazing. I mean, the attention to detail is really great. And then there's this some sort of like proof of purchase or warranty card. I'm not entirely familiar with what this is. Looks like you fill out the information, maybe send it back, a little survey. Thanks, Bear. Thanks. Come on, bro. I know. Come on, move. Move. So the first 4 box sets all contain a similarly designed box like that, and then by the time they get to the 5th set, they go to a different style, and I'll show you here. This is actually the 6th one, but it's the same style. Instead of it being a pop top, now it's like a case like this, and they slide out. The discs slide out of the case like so, rather than being a pop top box. And it's a slightly thicker box, and it's glossier. Like this is super glossy. But again, you can see great color illustrations, and we get Frederick Barr's blueprints with some color added. And on the back, we get color photographs taken from the episodes that appear on the set. Right? Quick look at the discs, same sort of thing. Frederick Barr's blueprints, and then a picture from the episode. On the other side, we get some nice color pictures. Right. Here's the insert for this box set. We get, looks like reproductions of magazine articles from Japan. Information about the episodes. We get some drawings in the background here, the mini sub, the flying sub, and the sea view. And then more illustrations of articles from Japanese publications. And there's the other disc. And again, so for the ones that contain the color episodes, we can see up here it says in color. And over here, because this disc has black and white episodes, they change it right there. They say in black and white. Very convenient. So even though they had changed the style of the box, it still contains three discs worth. So the first 4 volumes all contain the box with the top that opens, like I showed you here. And then 5 through 8 all contain the ones that slide out the side. But then starting with volume 9, they decide to up the ante, and you get this beast here. If I can put this out here, you can see just how big this is. And it contains 8 discs total. So now it opens on the side, and there's a whopping, and this is really heavy, a whopping 8 discs come out. So for volumes 9 through 12, they're all this style, which is where you really get a ton of episodes, and this weighs an amazing amount. I mean, that must be, I don't know how many pounds it is. It's quite a bit. So if you get all 12 volumes, it's the complete series. Okay, so what about the quality? How good do these look? Well, these were all taken from, for the most part, these seem to have been taken from 16mm syndication prints. So they don't look that good. They really don't. They look quite worn and tired. they're similar to, or basically identical to, the quality that was being broadcast on the Sci-Fi Channel in the mid '90s. These look like they're taken from the exact same source, 16 millimeter syndication prints, nearest I can tell. So they don't look that great. What is interesting though is there's an occasional episode here and there which look beautiful. The first episode, which is in color, 11 Days to Zero, there's the color version that appears on the first box set here. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's taken from the same master that was used for the Columbia House VHS release that also, was during that same era. So it looks absolutely perfect and it looks beautiful. There's also an occasional black and white episode here and there which looks beautiful. Like I said, there's just every once in a while you come across an episode here and there which look outstanding. And I'm always curious. I don't know why. Maybe they were missing it within their syndication run, and they requested a fresh print from 20th Century Fox or something. I don't know why. So the other problem with these releases was the cost. It was outrageously expensive to buy these. So, for example, when they were being released 3 discs at a time, this would run you about anywhere from $150 to $200. And then these big boxed releases like this, where there's like 8 discs, this could be like $400 to $500 for a big box like this. So I recall going into a LaserDisc store in the mid '90s and seeing some of these for sale, along with the Lost in Space box sets from Japan, as well as the Time Tunnel box sets from Japan, and it was just cost prohibitive. There's no way I could afford that. So I wanted them badly, and I could not afford them. So it's something I've always had my eye out for, and I eventually picked these up super cheap, because these days there isn't much demand for these. They're incredibly rare, but once you do find them, they're not necessarily incredibly valuable. So they're super, super hard to find, but they're really not worth that much to most people. Unless you're a hardcore collector, you're just going to stick with the DVDs. And just for comparison's sake, here, just size comparison, here's the standard DVDs. Like that. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what a LaserDisc looks like, I will show you one really quickly. Same size as an LP, but all silver. Contains an analog video. Contains 2 mono tracks analog sound and 2 mono tracks digital sound. So if you take those 2 digitals and you combine them, you can get stereo digital or stereo analog. It just depends on how you want to utilize the 4 tracks, 2 analog audio, 2 digital audio, and then analog video. All right. All right, these are the DVD sets that were released in North America for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. They were all released between 2005 and 2010. This is season 1. They split it into 2 parts. Then they did season 2, then season 3, and then season 4. It's a bit annoying in that they changed the packaging. These all have cardboard slip cases. So it's cardboard, and then within it you get plastic holders, which are fine. But for some reason, when it came to season 4, they decided to abandon that, and they just went to standard plastic case like this. I wish they had been consistent, either done plastic cases throughout or kept with the cardboard. I don't know why there's a sudden change when it comes to season 4. All of these look great. The episodes all look wonderful. They did a great job remastering them, and they really do look great. My only complaint with these is that I think the packaging artwork is horrendous. It just looks like something that was done very quickly and very cheaply. And in particular, there's no attention to detail. Like the person who put this artwork together has never seen the show. I guarantee it. The artwork, this artwork right here is taken from the motion picture. It has, it's been modified slightly, but it's from the motion picture. It's not connected with the television series. They just stuck in the TV actors over here. Okay, that doesn't seem so bad. But what is bad to me is in season 1, the Sea View had 8 windows, and in the remaining seasons, it only has 4 windows. So here we can see season 1, volume 2, it has 8 windows, which is correct. But on season 1, volume 1, they show it with 4 windows. I know it's a minor point, but if you're a fan of the show, it's such an obvious error. And then here we are, season 2, they've got the artwork with it containing 8 windows. But like I said, seasons 2 through 4, it only has 4 windows. So, like, they didn't even try. But again, like I said, the episodes look great, they sound great. The only other complaint I really have is that they didn't, for the most part, they didn't include some of the minor things like the bumpers, for example, season 1 is in black and white, and all the seasons thereafter are in color. The color episodes always started with a little clip that would say Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea in color, and that would pop up for a few seconds before the episode starts. And they left them out of all of the season 2 and season 3 episodes, but they did include them for some of the season 4 episodes. So at least you get some of those. But I wish they had included them. You know, they don't have to include them on every episode, but it would have been nice maybe to take an episode or two and just leave in all the bumpers and that little in color bit. The other thing is, you know, for all 4 seasons, originally the opening credits, when the opening credits would conclude, the announcer one more time would say Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, brought to you by, and then it would cut to whoever that sponsor was for that week's episode. And on all these, they cut the brought to you by. So it just goes Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and then it's just this quick fade. And I understand, you know, there aren't commercials on these episodes, so the brought to you by seems a little out of place, but that sudden fade, it just seems so obvious to me. And also, for years, these episodes were available in syndication, and you could hear the brought to you by. So I don't know why someone felt that had to come out. They do offer, I think it's on here, they give you, as a bonus, yeah, on here, they give you the first episode, season 1, episode 1, as it was originally broadcast. So you do get a complete episode with the original commercials, original bumpers, and that original intro that I was just talking about, at least for the first episode. And that's nice. They include the color pilot, which from season 1, the first episode was shot in color. And they try to include that a number of times. They include it as a bonus, on here, the very first set. But they screw up the opening titles. They edit out the original color titles, and they stick in color titles lifted from season 2. And I don't know why they did that. And then they try to include it again as a bonus on one of these. I think it's on here again. They try to include it as a bonus. It's like almost like they attempted to correct their mistake, and all they did was they included the exact same edit with the wrong opening titles yet again on here. So as far as I can tell, the color version of the opening episode between these 2 releases, you know, it's on both of these as a bonus, and on both of them it has the wrong titles which were edited from season 2. I don't know why. So that's it. They look great, they're cheap, they're easy to get a hold of, and that's wonderful. I just wish they had spent a little more care with the artwork, maybe gotten someone involved who knows the show, to help out. You know, and somebody should have done a little bit of quality control with the bonus material. So hopefully they can rectify those small errors if and when there's ever a Blu-ray release. And then if they just corrected a few things here and there, it would really be fantastic. My recommendation is that they take one episode for each of the 4 seasons and give you it as it was broadcast. Like just pick one episode from each of the 4 seasons and give it to us with the original commercials and the original bumpers and the original announcer during the opening credits, etc. And that way we would have an example of it from all 4 seasons. And do that as a bonus for all 4, and I think that would be a great way to handle it.
There are DVD sets that have come out in recent years since the North American DVD set. It's been released on DVD in England, Japan, France, etc. So I know that there are other DVD sets out there. My understanding is that they're all quality-wise identical to the North American set. If you have one of those sets and you feel that it's significantly different, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.